Did you know a billionaire once bought a golden shirt worth $250,000? And here I am debating whether to buy the 2-for-1 deal at my local thrift store. Now let's dive into this golden tale, folks. We're talking about an Indian billionaire who decided that silk, cotton, and wool just weren't cutting it in the fashion stakes. So, what did he do? He went for gold. I mean, literally, he went for gold. This gentleman didn't just buy a shirt with a hint of gold thread or a subtle gold trim. No, no, no. He went all out and bought a shirt made entirely of gold. Yes, you heard it right. A shirt that would make King Midas green with envy. This dazzling shirt cost him a cool $250,000. Now, I don't know about you folks, but that's a whole lot of thrift store deals. And the weight? Well, it tipped the scales at around 7 pounds. That's like carrying around a newborn baby all day, except this one doesn't cry, it just blinds people as you walk by. Now, why would someone buy a golden shirt, you wonder? Well, our billionaire friend believed it would bring him good luck. I'm not sure about luck, but it sure brought him a lot of attention. And the real kicker here is the everyday struggle we all face. You know, standing in front of the wardrobe trying to decide what to wear. Imagine adding a golden shirt to the mix. Should I wear the blue shirt, the red one, or perhaps the one that could single-handedly support a small country's economy? So, next time you find yourself standing at the crossroads of a fashion decision, remember our friend with the golden shirt. And next time you think about splurging on that designer shirt, just remember, it could be worse. You could be wearing your entire net worth. Imagine spending $1.5 million on a pet. No, not a pet tiger or a rare breed of dog. A pigeon. Now I know what you're thinking. Pigeons? Those gray city birds that you shoo away from your lunch in the park? Yes, my friends, those very same pigeons. But not just any pigeon, a racing pigeon. Now I'm from the South and we love our racing. Horse racing, dog racing, heck, even turtle racing at the county fair. But pigeon racing? That's a whole new level of feathered frenzy. Did you ever think you'd hear someone say, "Hold my beer while I race my pigeon"? Me neither. But here we are, in a world where a racing pigeon can cost you a cool $1.5 million. Now I've heard of pigeons being used for all sorts of things. During the World Wars, they were used to carry messages across enemy lines. Some folks even trained them to return home no matter where they're released from. But, let's be honest, most of us can't even get our regular birds to come back home, let alone $1 million one. I mean, can you imagine the pressure of owning a $1.5 million pigeon? You'd be scared to even let it out of the cage. What if it decides it likes the neighbor's bird feeder better? Or what if it just gets tired of the high life and decides to join its cousins in the city park? And training. Good heavens, I can barely train my dog to fetch. Can you imagine trying to train a pigeon to race? I guess you'd need some kind of pigeon personal trainer. Maybe even a pigeon psychologist to keep it focused and motivated. So, if you're ever feeling down about your pet not listening to you, just be glad it didn't cost you $1 million. Ever heard of a $10,000 martini? Well, neither had I until I discovered some rich folks don't just drink their martini, they wear it. Now don't get me wrong, I love a good martini as much as the next guy, but I've always been more of a sip it, don't slip it kind of person. But hey, to each their own, right? Now let's dive into the story of this diamond-studded drink. Picture this. You're at a swanky upscale bar, and as you're perusing the menu, you come across a martini that costs as much as a small car. You're intrigued, you're confused, you're cautiously excited. You order it, and lo and behold, your martini comes with a little extra sparkle at the bottom. Yep, you guessed it, a real diamond. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always thought that the only rocks in a drink should be ice. But I guess if you're feeling particularly fancy and have an extra 10 grand lying around, why not drink a diamond? Who needs ice when you've got carrots, right? But let's not ignore the elephant in the room here. What about the choking hazard? I mean, sure, it adds a certain je ne sais quoi to your drink, but it's also a one-way ticket to the Heimlich maneuver. I can see it now. How was your martini, sir? Oh, it was breathtaking, literally. Talk about a sparkling review. And you know what they say, diamonds are a girl's best friend. But in this case, it seems like diamonds are a martini's best friend too. It's all about that bling bling, even in your drink. And just think, if you're ever in a bind and need some quick cash, you've got a diamond you can pawn right there in your martini. It's like an investment, but one you can drink. Next time you're at a bar, maybe ask your bartender if they have any jewelry to throw into your drink. You never know. We've all had parking woes, but have you ever been so frustrated that you decided to buy a parking spot for $1 million? Now folks, I'm not talking about a parking spot on the moon or in the middle of the Sahara Desert or even in a secret bat cave. No sir, I'm talking about a good old concrete slab on planet Earth right in the heart of Manhattan, New York City. Now, I've heard of high living costs in the Big Apple, but I reckon this takes the apple pie. Imagine a $1 million parking spot. That's more than some people pay for their entire house. I mean, we've all experienced the stress of trying to find a parking spot. Circling the block, eyeing that guy who looks like he's about to leave, only to have your hopes crushed when he just pulls out his phone and starts texting. But let's be real. How many of us have thought, you know what would solve this problem? A cool $1 million, that's what. And this isn't just any parking spot, oh no, it's an indoor parking spot with a private elevator to boot. So you don't have to worry about parallel parking or, heaven forbid, actually having to walk to your car. I can see it now, sorry darling, I can't possibly walk 20 feet to the Lexus. Fetch the car elevator. But let's not forget the real struggle here, the parking meter. Instead of scrambling for quarters or dealing with those pesky parking apps, you just hand over your life savings and voila, you've got yourself a parking spot for life. Or at least until you need to sell it to pay off your crippling debt. Now, I don't know about you, but I think I'll stick to my trusty bicycle. At least when I lose that, I'm only out a few $100, not a cool $1 million. And you thought your city's parking rates were high. From golden shirts to $1 million parking spots, it's clear that when you're rich, the world truly is your oyster, or your pigeon, or your diamond-studded martini. Well, we've had quite the adventure today, haven't we? We've traversed the expanse of wealth, from the golden threads that make up a shirt worth more than your car, to the land of pets where a pigeon is worth a small island. We've sipped on diamond martinis that cost more than a semester of college tuition. And we've parked our imaginary Lamborghinis in parking spots that cost more than most homes. Now let's take a moment to reflect on these purchases. Imagine walking into a party, your shirt shimmering in the light. Is that gold? They'll ask. Why, yes it is, you'll respond, casually tossing your diamond martini in their direction. And when the night is over, you'll return to your $1 million parking spot, your pigeon cooing in the back seat. Sounds like a typical Tuesday night, right? But let's bring it back down to earth. These extravagant purchases might seem ridiculous to us common folks, but to the ultra-wealthy, it's just another day in the life. It's like buying a pack of gum, except the gum is made of gold and costs a small fortune. Now that's a chew I wouldn't mind getting stuck under my shoe. So as we wrap up our journey into the realm of the rich and the reckless, let's remember one thing. It's not about the money, it's about the absurdity. Because when you're this rich, why not buy a diamond martini? Why not purchase a golden shirt? And why not, for the love of all things holy, buy a $1 million parking spot? Remember folks, it's not about what you have, it's about how ridiculously expensive it is. Until next time, keep dreaming big. And remember, at least you're not wearing your net worth